thanks for joining me. You're watching In Deep on the Delta. Today I'm with my friend Johnny V. We are fishing what I would call difficult conditions. We're just coming out of midwinter. It's still early February. We've got water temperatures still 48, 50 degrees. We've had rain, we've had wind. The barometer's been jumping up and down. I know you say the clarity generally runs about 2 to 3 feet. Right now it's 2 to 3 inches. So we don't know what we're going to get today, but we're going to go out and we're going to see if we can make post-frontal pre-spawn fish bite. John, you're the captain today. What are we going to be using? You told me not to bring any bait, so I'm bringing your stuff. What are we using?
We're going to be throwing a bait called the Donkey Slayer. Basically kind of a oversized vibrating jig, big blade. The blade throws a lot of action. We're going to be fishing shallow. We're looking for those fish that are up. Probably not a lot of fish are going to be up today, but hopefully the ones that are going to attack this. It's about making that big presentation and in hopes of getting those fish that have moved up for that short window.
You guys know John. He is the innovator of this bait, and I've caught fish on it, but I'm really interested to see if we can make these fish bite under these conditions. We'll let you know the techniques that we're using. We'll try to talk you through some of the finer points of using these bladed jigs, and hopefully we catch a fish.
Yeah.
You ready to go?
Absolutely.
So John, what are you going to be setting me up with?
So I just started tying this color, this pattern. It's desert craw, and you can see it's got green, brown, purple. Okay. The blade on it is green and orange. In dirty water, I think it's going to show up real well. I mean, the water is extremely dirty.
Now, I've got this brightly colored braid. I'm going to be. You said I can go ahead and fish.
You can, if it makes you feel better, we can color the braid. But being we only have about 2 inches of visibility, I got clippers if you need it.
Okay, let's do that.
You know, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Okay, let's start out with straight yellow braid. And what are you going to set me up with trailer?
You know, I'm using a big crawdad style. Let's see. There it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's five. I think it's 5 1/4 inches.
It's your job. Put it on.
Yeah, and I basically take off some of the appendages, make it a little bit more sleek. This is going to be a big profile, especially for this dirty water.
Nice crawdad.
Yeah, and it's just going to, you know, these appendages, the claws, are going to be going all over the place when that bait drops or you go on the retrieve.
Who makes that trailer?
That's a Gambler.
That is a big bait, guys. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's you know, it's now between the blade and the tail end of the claws, you're probably looking at close to 6.5, 7 inches.
Yeah, that's a big. Right. Now, how about we've got a full skirt on here?
Right now, we were going to leave it. Okay. I mean, if I were to go with a smaller trailer, I'd probably trim that skirt down a little bit. But being, you know, you got that big trailer. We're giving them something to eat, right? Okay. It's a full-size meal.
Let's go feed them.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I'm down.
Okay.
So
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm never ready, but yeah, sure. I'm ready.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah,
for sure. Oh, I just got hit.
So John, what's the deal? Show me what you want me to do with this bait.
So obviously, if you can see the water, very dirty, very cold. We're post front. These fish are not going to go out of their way to get a bait today. I will actually flip the bait as opposed to pitching, let it hit the bottom, let it drop, and then a little tiny retrieve just to get that blade moving where it's just enough to let them know it's alive, right?
Okay. So let's start fishing. Just pitch it or flip it out there right at the bank, huh?
Right at the bank.
And
soft entry, let it drop, barely move it, just enough to let them know it's alive.
Are you letting it hit the bottom?
I am, because I feel like in the winter they're going to be kind of hugging the bottom for the warmth.
Mm-hmm. And are you finding that these fish are pulled up on the bank, and are they?
I think the active fish are pulled up on the bank.
Okay,
I think there's going to be fish deep, but I don't think they're very active.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in the feeding mode. I think if you do find fish that are in the shallows, those fish have moved up to eat.
Okay. we'll see. Another question I would have, retrieve, steady retrieve, or
No,
is it
it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
You can make it a little erratic.
And there are fish in here, right?
I hope so.
Okay. Got a little knot that time.
Oh, just got a little hit.
Sweet.
Pulled my pants down. Amateur.
Oh, there's one.
Got him.
What do you know? What do you know?
What do you know? Look at you.
Well, hey, I'll take it.
All right.
All right. Well, it's not the biggest.
No,
one
not
in
the
life,
biggest,
I'm sure,
but hey, you got on the board.
But it's a fish. And I needed that first one.
Yeah.
You just want that blade thumping, not vibrating.
No, just enough to, you know, move it, let them know that it's alive and
Right.
it's creating a little bit of disturbance.
And I've been fishing with a few of these younger guys, high schoolers and
Yeah.
young guys. I know you fish with Braden a lot. He's
Yeah,
your
Braden
tournament
and
partner. I'll tell you,
Colin.
these young guys are getting really good.
Oh, they are. I wish I had, when I was younger, I wish I had the access to the knowledge that they have now. What took me years to learn, I feel like they learn it in a very short period.
And you know, the high school fishing tournament scene and the clubs and the high school teams, you know, for a young angler, I mean, you just get so much information that you can soak up without having to go through the trials and tribulations of, you know, just figuring out one little thing, two little things every time you're out here. You can fish with an experienced angler like yourself.
Okay, you're making me look bad.
Oh, this is a little bigger fish.
All right.
All right. That one hit it right at the boat.
Did it? Awesome.
Yep. Oh, I don't want to get your boat.
Get the boat dirty. It's all good.
All right. A little bigger. Again, what are you calling this color, John?
You know, it kind of looks like desert craw. I don't know, give it a name. I'm not very good with nomenclature, so you can give it the name.
Okay, I'll think about it. Oh, got another one. Jeez. I like the color, I'm liking it. Is this a striper? No? Well, you know what? They're getting incrementally bigger and bigger. And that's what I like.
Oh, that's shallow.
Whoa! Johnny. Oh, there's right. There we go.
Looks like a good one.
They're all good, man. Get out of your way.
Oh, you're all good. I think I'm in your way. What color was that?
It's not a. As John and I wrap up our day of fishing, I'd just like to emphasize the role that weather played on this particular day. Midwinter, we had no major fronts that came through, but all day long there were minor fronts. You can see we have a little chop on the water right now. The sun would go behind the clouds. The temperature would drop maybe 5 to 10 degrees in just a short period of time. One of those days where you were constantly taking off or putting on your coats. These minor fronts coming throughout the course of the day triggered small bite windows. And I guess what I'd like to say, as you are fishing these winter days, it's extremely important to just keep your confidence up, have a plan, stick to that plan, and work and work and work. If you keep up the grind, you're going to catch some fish. So with that, John and I are going to do a short wrap up, and we want to let you guys get out of here and get on the water, have some fun. John, it's time to wrap it up, and as we expected, I mean, I didn't know it was this cold until I started losing a little contact with my finger and thumb, but we had about, I'm going to say 15 to 20 fish.
You had the majority of them. Trying to make me look bad.
Well, that's...
it's all good. I'm happy. No, in all seriousness, I made Steve a new donkey slayer, a new color, I should say, in the donkey slayer. The let's call it Desert Craw. I don't know what the hell you want.
You said I'm going to get to name this one, huh?
You are.
All right.
It's all you. But didn't catch any giants, but definitely it was productive. I'd say at least caught a half a dozen on it, right?
Yeah, and you know, these winter conditions there wasn't any foul weather that came in, but we had fronts come in all day.
Yeah.
And it would turn the bite on for just 5 minutes at a time. And you know, you suggested that slow roll, and the one thing that I would say, slow roll with a vibrating jig. If you feel it vibrating, you're not fishing it right.
Just kind of ticking it along the bottom, enough movement where the blade is gonna, you know, start to kick in, but not where you're lifting it high off the bottom, because I feel like the fish are bellies on the bottom, they're keeping warm, and they're not gonna go far to eat that bait.
You had to fish it slow and near the bottom, and I know a lot of times for me, especially when I'm using an expensive bait or a chatter bait or whatever it may be, I don't want to lose it, and I'm too timid about not keeping contact with the bottom.
Right.
But if you weren't keeping contact with the bottom, we just weren't really getting bit.
I think, and something to add, is I think most people associate vibrating jigs with grass, but you can fish rocky areas with a vibrating jig, granted that you're ticking those rocks, and as you said,
yeah,
you get a little paranoid thinking, oh, I'm going to snag up.
Most of them, everything we fished today was your donkey slayer.
Yeah.
And talk about that a little bit before we wrap this up.
I'm building. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little behind. I've gotten a lot of orders. And
now, wait a minute, John. When you say a little behind, if somebody wants one of these, what are we calling a little behind? Because we talked a little bit.
6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, pre-spawn is just about here. I mean, we've got some storms coming, and there's still some cold weather to be had. I mean, winter is still here, but spring is near, and I know that. If you get your orders in soon, I'll try to take care of you, and trying to do all these, you know, unique colors and
and for those,
be unique.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what the donkey slayer is, we did another video on this, and you know, John and I we've talked about this. These are not cheap baits.
No,
they're
not.
Custom made vibrating jigs, and you can see the blade on that compared to a jackhammer. It's 2.5 times.
Yeah.
Well-built bait, and I'll tell you what, these things should be called Delta Slayers, because I know you and Braden have won a couple of the Wednesday nighters. You've got a couple other guys fishing.
Yeah, I do. That have done real well.
If you want these, John's going to give you his number to call and maybe place an order. But I do think this year on the Delta, there's not a lot of people fishing them, but there's a few more than there were last year. I think you're going to see a lot of people talking about this bait when it comes to catching big fish and winning tournaments.
Yeah, you can get a hold of me on Instagram at MetalFlakeMarvin. I think the best way is just email me. I'm John at DonkeySlayerUSA.com. Again, John at DonkeySlayerUSA.com. And you know, I'm like I said, I'm like him. I'm a fishing geek. I think I said that in the last video. And you know, you want to talk baits and custom order and create something unique. I'm I'm all ears. There's not too many times I tell people I can't do that color, or I can't create that bait. And I make it the way you want it to be, the way it needs to be to catch. It's not to catch giants, it's to catch a giant bag of fish. That's what I really designed it for. So,
and that's what it does. So with that, I'd like to thank you for inviting me out here.
That was fun.
I wish I knew where I was, but
now I have to kill you.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. So let me finish editing this video,
Yeah.
and we'll get something up there. And looks like we better head in. It's starting to get dark, but it's a fun day of fishing, and these vibrating jigs will catch fish under any conditions.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the river.